Now, Caspa, speaking of Caspa, they have mixers now, which I thought was really cool. I haven't tried it out personally. It is in beta right now, but every cryptocurrency needs a mixer, I think, for privacy reasons. And so there is one available now, supposedly at kasmixer.com. Like I said, I have not tried this myself. So be cautious when utilizing it. I wouldn't connect like a wallet that has all of your funds in it, but if you want to try it out, go ahead and try it out. John says Caspa should also be on Phantom soon. That'll be a game changer for Caspa for sure. Caspa has quite a few hurdles to get through, I think, from a supply and demand perspective. So obviously anything that could increase the demand, like getting added to Phantom, would be extremely impactful. Still have to figure out, from a mining perspective, I have very little, if any, faith in Caspa at this point. I got to wait for that dust to settle. I really think you got to wait for like Marathon to liquidate fully out, some stuff like that. It's just, there's so basic problems with ASICs as always. They're extremely high capital upfront cost, right? Extremely quick turnaround time for new, more efficient miners. And in Caspa's case, an extremely fast decreasing block reward, right? And a failure to prove out power law impacts it at all. If power law impacted Caspa significantly, and we were seeing that, then I would say, obviously, once it gets down to like that below double-digit block rewards in 2027, you could see the price of Caspa skyrocket. The fact is like we're not really seeing that. So I don't know if that will actually prove out. So from a mining perspective, I'm extremely cautious. But as with any ASICs, that's just me in general. Duke says, what do you think about the rise of all these AI hosting platforms? Well, we talked about letting people run whatever they want on your systems from your IT background. So you're specifically talking about basically what the legal ramifications could be or something like that, I suppose, or I assume, and things like OPSEC and all that sort of stuff, right? And the thing is, like, you can protect yourself with VLANs and blah, 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 whatever it is. I think there are limits. I think utilizing platforms that, I guess, scan for bad stuff. I guess my extreme concern would be, anything illegal, like, I don't even want to say it, but, I think from a legal perspective, it could be extremely scary. The thing is, you're not really necessarily storing data in most cases, at least on the AI side of things, maybe a little bit. It'd be more dangerous in like a VPS service, like some of the VPS services that Flux offers. But obviously, Flux has been extremely persistent, at least in the past, at only allowing certain Docker images. That's why you got to apply and get them approved and all that sort of stuff. So I think most of them are aware of this, and there are those certain requirements. And you should look into that if you're going to be a provider, right? At the end of the day. But yeah, Man Tech Cave says you can also use a VPN on the router level. That's always good. You want to set up a VLAN to completely separate. And I've said this forever, from the mining perspective, you should do it from your gaming perspective too. I mean, at my house, I have a gaming VLAN, a family VLAN, a me VLAN, and then a mining VLAN, right? Like, and all of that is separated, and cut off from talking to each other for the most part, except for, obviously like a God mode that can go across all VLANs for troubleshooting, etc. But that's going to help keep, you know, the rest of your house clean, as far as like the rest of your network clean, so you don't end up with viruses on like your personal computer or your MacBook or something like that. Or you don't have as many people poking around, right? So, but at the same time too, you're going to probably, it gets deep, right? Like I have honeypot set up so that if somebody does pop over, that I'll hopefully catch them or something like that. And I have caught people, right? And then, yeah, renting to use Hashcat, which has been really popular, technically could be extremely illegal if they are utilizing your GPUs to, say, crack a password for someone's bank account or their crypto wallet, etc. Right? And in the case that that happens, you know, your equipment can get effectively seized, right? And so you do risk that, especially with something like Hashcat, where you could end up in a position, yeah, I think legally, where your equipment could get seized. And the thing is, the VPN is not going to save you there. Like the CIA or the FBI, like if it comes to a crazy big investigation, they're going to be able to trace that VPN straight down to you. And especially if you're using any public VPNs. Now, I suppose like we could talk about VPN best practices. Like one really good thing to do is build your own VPNs, right? You can do that. You can rent a VPS in China or something like that, or wherever you want, Kazakhstan, whatnot, install the VPN on that VPS and go through there. But, you know, at that point, you know, you're going to have a record of you renting that VPS. They're going to go through there. So it's without getting into effectively being illegal, it's going to be traced, right? So you would have to steal processing power to really stay anonymous at the end of the day, because you couldn't have any financial ties, or you would have to steal someone's identity to get the service under their identity, right? And so it gets to the point to where it's like, really what you're doing when you're obfuscating from a VPN perspective, VLANs, setting all that stuff up, all you're really doing is trying to stop other individuals from figuring it out, right? So all you're really trying to do is stop the person that's renting your power, if they're malicious, at hopping onto your network, right? Or you're trying to stop the mining software dev from injecting your network with malware, right? That's pretty much all you're really trying to do. But if it came down to a legal situation or something, they'll trace you down regardless. So I don't think that, like I said, there are ways to do it, but then you're going to be breaking the law. At that point, once you are fully obfuscated and all of that, and untraceable, then you've probably already broken the law at some point, right? Scott says, I've refused to switch to AI due to the ethical and legal problems on what some could be creating. Not really worried about viruses. I think the AI, like I said, at the end of the day with the AI stuff, it's just like the big companies are going to take it all over. There's going to be scraps left over here for a little while, but I don't think it lasts near as long as like GPU mining did, right? You'll have some cloud services that you'll be able to rent your services to here and there. But by and large, I think they'll go away. I think you'll see, there might be some things like, I think Clore's, Docker image of Hive OS is really interesting, and I think that might stick around for some while for spec mining and so on. I think like services like Vast AI, etc., are going to be taken over completely by AWS. iRescue Data says, Savitech, tell me something negative about Tensura other than price and hash rate. Tensura. We talked about Tensura already, didn't we? I'm almost positive I've already talked about that. So, it's been a while though. It's been a long time. So I don't know, iRescue Data. I'd have to go back through and look through stuff. I do need to continue though today, because I am running out of time. How long have we streamed for? Hour and a half? Something like that. I wanted to today, well, I wanted to do a reaction in another video, but it's kind of getting towards the end of the day for me. And I think we did some Q&A. I'm going to try to stream more. Apologies. Like I said, I've been absolutely addicted to Dune Awakening, and streaming that over on Twitch. It's a lot of fun. And I think from a motivation perspective, I've had low motivation. I'll just be completely honest with you guys. I don't know if it's just, you know, it's like the fact is there's not a lot going on that's extremely exciting. And that, I mean, that's pretty much it. And like the only mining I'm doing is Bitcoin, which is boring as fuck. Like, let's be honest, mining Bitcoin's kind of boring. There's not like a ton of fun stuff to get into. I'm paying attention. I'm trying to find some spec mines here. I am speculative mining, but all of those plays are going to be on locals. And who knows if they'll even hit, because most of them are trash, if we're being honest. So at the end of the day, it's just like, eh. So, yeah, and everything's kind of turning into rug pulls. People are trying to extract as much liquidity out of the market as they possibly can. I mean, all the way up to the president of the United States, right? So it's getting a little ridiculous. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. If you would like to see more from this particular episode, take a look up here. Don't forget to also subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support me directly, you can go to sonofatech.locals.com and become a member. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday.